Hey, this is JP, and this is my rendition of One Day Like This by Elbow, and this is how I loop it. So stick around to the end, and I'm going to go into a full tutorial and breakdown of what I did and how I did it. But for now, I hope you enjoy the performance.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Blinking in the morning sun, shaking out for everyone. Yeah, heavy like a loaded gun. What made me behave that way? Said words I'd never say. Only think it must be love. Well, anyway, it's looking like a beautiful day. Someone tell me how I feel. Silly wrong, but favorite right. Kiss me like a final meal. Kiss me like we died tonight. Holy cow, I love your eyes. Only now do I see the lights. Lying with you half awake. Oh, anyway, it's looking like a beautiful day. When my face is chamois creased, if you think I winked, I did. Left politely at repeats. Kiss me when my lips are thin. 'Cause holy cow, I love your eyes. Only now do I see the lights. Lying with you half awake, stumbling over what to say. Well, anyway, it's looking like a beautiful day. So throw those curtains wide. One day like this, you would see me right. Throw those curtains wide. One year will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this year will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this year will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this year will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this year will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this year will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this year will see me right. Life, holy cow, I love you right. One day like this year will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this year will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this year will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this year will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this year will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this year will see me right.
So I hope you liked that, give it a thumbs up if you did, and I'm now going to go into the tutorial of how I looped this track. First and foremost, I'm using the Boss RC-600 loop station and nothing else. There are two major effects that I'm using, and all the effects you heard are coming from the Boss RC-600. I'm using a D, a G, an A, and then a G for the verses, and then the second section is a D, and then a C, and then back to the G, and then a D. Now there are two sections for this, so obviously there is a change in the chords for the looping, so I'm going to go through that with you. I'm actually using 4 tracks on the RC-600. The first 3 are on the first page, and the fourth one you heard is that massive crescendo at the end, and that's on the second mode. But let's start with the rhythm. Quite simply, just doing a little bit of guitar with stroking rhythm just to get the beat. And then I ended up doing a thud on the guitar while going boom and kick, like boots and cats. And then you'll end up with this. Oh yeah, and then a nice little one that I do. This is a 2-bar loop, and what I like to do is I don't go all the way through. I like to go. So the second half is a little bit quieter, so you get a little bit of intonation, and it's just a little bit more dynamic. And also here, I kind of tend to do this at the end of the second bar. I go, ah. Now the second loop is actually the verse and chorus for pretty much most of the song, and it's pretty long. So the second loop is the guitar and the bass. Now you'll notice on the RC-600, I actually went on mode number 1, I went to pedal number 8, and it went purple. Like so. And that is my bass. So that bass is only assigned to the microphone, not the guitar. So I can carry on playing. It's really useful to be able to route to the effects. So in the effects, you just tell it to route to only the microphone, not all, and that's it. You just save that, and it's really useful. So this bit is the little bit of sort of muted guitar. But with the effect on. And then you'll end up with something like this. So it is a really long loop. bass, I went du-du-du-du-du. And that's just to give it a little bit of change, but also to let me know that that's coming towards the end of the loop. And so it's not the same as the other G as we went into it there. I could have gone but it was just a little bit of a change, and it just makes it a bit nicer for me. The next loop is actually just vocals. Now, in the original track, they actually have strings, and they go na 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 na. Don't know what this hand's doing. And I don't have strings available to me right now, so I actually just sing it. But what I do is I actually put on the second effect. So if we go to my effects, the fourth effect here is
A long haul. Hello. 1, 2.
so that's very useful. And then obviously I'm singing this. So the actual singing doesn't kick on bar 1, beat 1, and that's important. But actually, when you press it, you have to press it first and go bum, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So you'll end up with something like this. And also, I did repeat the first bit.
Last part.
Now you'll hear there I went ding, and then because I was playing and moved over to the next loop. And you'll also hear the ooh, and that's the end of the loop going into the first bar, beat 1, bar 1, beat 1, as it were. So you'll hear, so you hear bum. When we put these three together, I actually don't play all three on the very first verse. So once I've finished making that loop, you'll hear that actually when I'm singing Drinking in the Morning Sun,
Drinking in the morning sun.
I actually turn that off. I turn the actual because I want to leave that for verse 2. So we've got the beat.
So we add this in. So I've just recorded that, and I'm going to turn this off. Drinking in the morning sun. Drinking in the morning sun. Shake it up for everyone. Heavy like a loaded gun. And we carry on. What made me behave that way? Using words I never say. And only think it must be love. Well, anyway, it's looking like a beautiful day.
Now at this point what I do is I have loops 1, 2 and 3 available. And what I do is I actually stomp down on the start, stop, all. So I actually go dun, dun, dun. If I do it now, I'll have the fourth part in, which will have all the harmonies in. Listen to this. So obviously you wouldn't have that at that point. You just have these two.
The beat.
So the idea behind this, if you listen to the original track, it goes
looking like a beautiful day. It stops.
Then I'd press start, stop, all for verse 2, and that would bring in the vocals, the but those vocals are playing after I've sung the line, so it's kind of like a call and answer. So let me bring everything back in.
Silly wrong, but very right. Kiss me like a final meal. Kiss me like you died tonight. 'Cause holy cow, I love your eyes.
It's exactly the same.
Only now do I see the lights. Lying with you half awake, wondering what it is to say. Well, anyway, it's looking like a beautiful that's where you'd stop, because if you didn't, you'd end up with the G. Obviously, D, and stop, start, stop.
So the second part now is the bit where it gets pretty interesting, because we need to change the chords. And what we do is, the last time we stop it on that hit is the first word, which is
so throw those curtains wide. One day like this a year will see me right.
So we need to make sure we've got the right chords, and I don't want loops 2 and 3 to play. So as we basically hit the start stop all for the last time, and then what we do is very, very quickly go over to just the beat. So we go,
so throw those curtains wide. One day like this a year will see me right. While I'm doing this, you'll notice that I'm going over to mode number 2. And this is where basically we're putting in all those harmonies where it's just a repeat of this. So you're like, throw those curtains wide. One day like this a year will see me right.
And that'll be looped and recorded, and then you've got basically harmonies. And you can do as many as you want, and in the UK this is quite a popular song, and people actually love to sing along with this, certainly in a pub environment. So you end up with something, a massive crescendo like this.
Throw those curtains wide. One day like this a year will see me right.
So you have to be very careful not to hit the start stop all, because you'll trigger loops 2 and 3, and they're different chords. You don't want that. It's a first D, but then it goes to, and it doesn't sound very nice obviously when it's all together. So you need to make sure the separation between loops 2 and 3, which are the first bits, and loops 4 are the second bits. Now the other thing you could do if you want to keep it simple is you could actually have the you could add that on later onto loop 2, and then you could have loop 3 for the last bit, and then that way you've only got one loop to turn off, as it were. I just like that separation, so it's not there in verse 1, but it is there in verse 2. It just adds another element to it. If I just put the beat back in,
and then you'll end up with all this crescendo. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this a year will see me right. You sing over the top. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this a year will see me right. Holy cow, I love curtains wide. One day like this a year will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. And then what we do is we turn off the beat. One day like this a year will see me right. Everybody! Throw those curtains wide. It's a great moment. One day like this a year will see me right. To end. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this a year will see me right.
now of course it depends how many times you want to do this. I also normally have a harmony paddle, so if I've got the harmonies going, I can actually make around about 12, 15, 18 harmonies on that one loop. It can get pretty loud, so you have to be very careful of the volume. But if you're playing it at the end of the night, it's a fantastic song to play live, and if you've got people in the audience who know it, they are literally swaying their hands and everything. So it's a great, great loop. It's a fantastic song to play, and this is why it's part of my repertoire. Now, if you need help looping, I can actually help you with that. I do coaching, but I've also got a free downloadable PDF, which is pro looping tips from me. So there's a link in the description box, but if you go to my website, which is johnpaulmusic.co.uk, go all the way to the bottom and you can go and grab your free PDF there. If you want to pick up the RC-600 or any of the stuff that I'm using, I have that down in the description below. And let me know in the comments, do you play this song? Do you use this song? Have you tried looping this song? Let me know, and let me know how it goes. Now, if you have found the contents of this video useful, then please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me, helps the channel grow. It tells the algorithm basically to send it out to more people. Now, if you want to see more of my performances, there is a card that's on the screen right now that shows you all the performances I've done on the YouTube. Go and have a look at them. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Holy cow, I love